Coach, your thoughts about Michigan State? What do you know about the Spartans?
Well, first of all, my relationship with their head coach, Tom Izzo, goes way back. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's an absolutely great individual, a great leader in college basketball, not just for his program, but I think in the nation. He's done a tremendous job of building a national championship caliber team every single year, and they have a very specific way they play. My Bowling Green teams, George Mason teams, and our Miami team have played against them throughout the last 20 years. So we're looking forward to playing them. We have the utmost respect for the Michigan State program.
What did you tell the team in the team meeting just now?
We just really went over the schedule, when we would practice. We're going to practice tomorrow. We're going to take off Tuesday. We're hoping we can leave for Tulsa on Tuesday, but I think that's based on the travel plans for so many other teams. We'll either leave Tuesday or Wednesday. If we leave on Wednesday, we'll practice Wednesday and then leave.
It sounded like you weren't too happy with, I think it was Seth Davis's prediction.
No, I'm really happy with it. It gives me some ammunition to talk with my team about.
Is it a lack of respect do you feel for this program when they say you're one and done already?
Well, no, I think what it is there are certain programs in this country that demand a lot of respect. In our league, you have Carolina, Duke, Louisville, Syracuse. In the Big 12, you got a Kansas. In the Big 10, Michigan State is the premier program. They've been at the top of national rankings. They've been to a lot of Final Fours. They've won a national championship under Coach Izzo, and so I think the media knows him and knows his program very, very well, and they give them a lot of respect.
Knowing what you know about Tom Izzo and that team and the program, how do you think you guys match up with them, just their style of play in general?
Well, if I had to compare them to anybody, they're very, very similar to North Carolina. Mm-hmm. They have very specific things that they do. When I talked to my team about preparing for North Carolina, I said the very first thing you have to do is prevent the 5-second layup, because there's two programs that pride themselves on scoring even right after you score within the first 5 seconds. And the two best in the country, in my estimation, are North Carolina and Michigan State. Michigan State is also recognized as one of the best rebounding programs in the country. Normally they lead the country in rebounding, and that's been a trademark of all Tom Izzo's teams.
Coach, I believe your exact words were, so it'll be us versus Kansas in the second round. That's as close to a prediction or guarantee as you get nowadays. Is that a guarantee?
No. That's not what I was saying. What I was saying is Seth Davis has his opinion, and we've got to prove him wrong. We need to earn the respect of the national media and the committee if we're ever going to be mentioned as a team that we believe you can move on. Because everybody's going to predict a Kansas is going to move on, a Louisville is going to move on, a Michigan State is going to move on, because they've moved on so many times in the past. We're getting closer because our last two trips to the NCAA tournament, we reached the Sweet 16. Our challenge is more difficult because we're not seeded as high as we were in 2013 and last season. And the opponent we're facing is a lot higher seed.
You've talked about a lot about what Michigan State does so well, but what's working in your favor?
Well, I think our young players have really come along of late, and our upperclassmen have been very, very good throughout the season. So if we can have great balance between the offense and defense, where our young guys are really defending at the level our upperclassmen are, that gives us a chance at the defensive end. If our underclassmen can give us some scoring, like Bruce Brown, DeJuan Ewell, DJ Vasilovich, if they can give us some offensive punch, that really helps us offensively, because again, the upperclassmen of Davon Reed, Jaquan Newton, and Kamari Murphy have been playing well at both ends of the court.
But you mentioned the two Sweet 16 appearances. Is this something you ingrain in your kids when you bring them into that we expect to go to the tournament and do well?
Well, that's our goal every year, is to be invited to the NCAA tournament or win our way in by winning the ACC tournament. And this year is now the fourth for me, where we earned an at-large bid. You know, those bids are hard to come by. And I don't know when the last time Miami got an at-large bid before my staff and I arrived in 2011. Does anybody know the answer to that? No one even knows. So, but in 2006, our George Mason team got an invite for the first time in that league's in 20 years. And then we got another one in 2011, and actually were matched up against Villanova and beat them. So whoever you get matched up with, you know it's going to be a really, really good team. And I think Michigan State is a very formidable opponent and someone we're going to have to play very, very well to advance.
How do you feel about Tulsa as a location? Do you know, have you done anything there?
I can't remember the last time I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was probably recruiting. The last time I think I even spoke to someone who lived in Tulsa was Frank Abagnale Jr. For those of you who don't know who that is, go see the movie Catch Me If You Can.
Disappointed not Orlando, Coach?
Oh, no, I didn't expect Orlando because Florida State was going to be a higher seed than us, and I didn't think they'd put us in the same bracket with them, and because of their higher seed, they were going to be sent closer to home. I think it's interesting they have to play an in-state school, Florida Gulf Coast. It's a fascinating matchup.
Your thoughts on the big three schools in the state all going at the same time?
You know, I think the state of Florida has a lot of good teams right now. If you look at Central Florida, they had a great year too. And Johnny Dawkins did a great job with them. But if you see Miami, Florida, and Florida State all going to the big dance, and all will be wearing home whites in the first round. And you may not think that's significant, but it really is, especially if you're a program that's never worn white in the NCAA tournament. There's a lot of like mid-majors never get to be a higher seed, never. Oh, it's exciting for us going in and being the higher seed.
What is your relationship with Tom Izzo?
Oh, we've been good friends for a long time.
How good?
My favorite story in regard to our relationship was in 1995. One of his assistant coaches left to become the head coach at Toledo, and my assistant coach, Stan Heath, his dream job was to be at Michigan State. And he came into me and asked me to call Tom Izzo to see if I could get him an interview. So I called Tom, and he said, you know, thanks for the call, Jim, but I already know who I'm going to interview, and I'm going to hire one of those two guys. I said, well, will you at least just interview him, make it a third guy? And he said, no. So then I told Stan, you're going to have to recruit him like we do a high school prospect, write him every day and send him things. And I suggested to Stan he send him, go to a clothing store and get the mannequin and take the right arm, put it in a long stem red rose box, send him a note, I'd give my right arm to be on your staff, and if you hire me, I'll help you win a national championship. Tom called me right afterwards, had a good laugh. He said, okay, I'll interview him. A month later, he hired him. And 5 years later, they won a national championship together.
Isn't that the same thing Computer did to get an interview?
No, he sent me his heart.
His heart, right.
He sent me his heart. He thought the arm thing had already been done, that the heart was better.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Thanks again, buddy.